introduce themselves. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Preeti Dasi from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Arvind Das Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna devotees, please introduce yourselves.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shama Gauri Devi Dasi from Charlotte. Mataji, I have an announcement that Hare Grace Kamodaki Mataji, she is in the hospital and she talked to me, but I couldn't understand what she was saying. But at the end, she said she has a heart surgery in the afternoon. So I request all devotees to pray for her.
Hare Krishna. So, thank you so much, Mataji, for letting us know on this situation. So, let's all pray for Kumudaki Mataji, who is a very senior devotee on the call, and she gives her presence always with her very enchanting face. So, let's pray for her. Let's chant 3 times Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama.
Krishna
Hare
Kumari
Krishna.
Mataji, do you have more information? Krishna
Yes, he has heart attack and she has a blockage, so they have surgery today.
She had a heart attack today?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like a
Stroke.
stroke.
It's look like
Yeah,
stroke.
stroke. Yes.
okay.
So she is hospitalized since last week, and now they find out she has a blockage, so they're going to do surgery.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
Hare
pray,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So thank you so much, Mataji, for updating on that. So keep us on the update on the health of Mataji. So I could see Kumudiki Mataji on the call. So is Kumudiki Mataji or anyone else? Hare Krishna. So let's move on with the introduction. Anyone who wants to introduce themselves, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is in the lake of
Hare Hare Krishna, Indulekha Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call.
Hare Krishna Beta Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Dandavat Pranam to all Vaishnava Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. So, devotees, let's move on to our next session, that is Srimad Bhagavatam. So, before moving to the next session, I would like to hand over the call to His Grace Suresh Shyam Prabhuji to give brief introduction about the speaker of today, His Grace Samik Rishi Prabhuji. Suresh Shyam Prabhuji, please take over the call and introduce Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Brief introduction about Prabhuji today. His Grace Samik Rishi Prabhuji is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Being a doctor by profession, he has done immense services to the devotee community and served the society by donating for lots of projects. For example, he donated the deities in Philadelphia temple, and he had made 3,000 temple units that serve as an altar in the villages. Prabhuji also served as a temple president of ISKCON, New Jersey for 15 years. Recently, Prabhuji had helped in building a temple of Radha Gopinath Mandir in Khargone, Madhya Pradesh, and a community for devotees to live around it. Prabhuji is known for his simplicity and humility. Prabhuji is now an initiating guru in ISKCON. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Back to you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving that brief introduction about His Grace Samik Rishi Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, His Grace Samik Rishi Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call. So I once again welcome all the devotees and thank all of you for joining the call. And so today, Prabhuji will be enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Canto 6, Chapter 15, text 8 to 15. So Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please take over the call, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Om Agyantimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kant Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanasute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namah Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Krapa Sindhubhya Evaja Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Ashyatya Dishakarine Hare Krishna. Welcome all the devotees. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are really reading this chapter 15, the saints Narad and Angira instructs in Chitraketu. Just little bit introduction of this chapter. You have been already reading this, that he was lamenting a lot after the death of his son, Shoka Harsha. And so Maharaj Chitraketu could not really, he was almost unconscious, he could not do anything. So knowing all this, the all-knower, these two, Angira and Narad Rishi, came, and then they have been explaining to this king that relationship that you are thinking between father, mother, or anybody, wife, husband, they are all temporary relationship with your wealth, property, whatever your own birth, because we may say that it is our birth, but soul is always eternal. Soul does not take any birth. So this is a illusory energy that is making us, a Maya makes us feel. It is all. I'm not saying it is real or it is, yes, it is. Whatever temporary it is real, but things were not there before, things are not there after. So in between what you see is like a dream. When we are in a dream, we don't, we see, oh, something is happening. But later on, when you wake up, so it was not there before, and after you wake up, the things are gone. Same thing, our life is like this. Although it may be a long dream, but for so many other animals or insects, it is a very, very short time period. So, so by arrangement of the time, the relationship exists only in the present. You know, it was not in the past, neither it will come in the future. So the entire cosmic manifestation is temporary. It is temporary, but not unreal. Like some others, they think Mayavadis, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. That Brahma is Satya, Jagat is Mithya. Jagat is not Mithya. It is temporary, but it's just like a dream. It does not have much significance. So we should not be too much concerned, but we should be concerned about our soul, that how we could develop our relationship with the Lord, which we have forgotten, and how we could, our goal should be to go back home, back to God in loving devotional service to the Lord. And that is the purpose that we have got this human life, which is very, very valuable. So by the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything is created in the material world is transient. A temporary arrangement between father and so he gets a child, a living entity becomes a child of so-called father. A temporary arrangement is by the Supreme Lord. Neither the father nor the son exist independently. Without the arrangement of the who knows who would be my father in the next life, or who would be my mother, or where I would be born, or which universe I will be born, whether I will be born rich, poor, so nothing that is known to us, it is all by the arrangement of the Supreme Lord. And Prakriti acts for the Supreme Lord. And that's why there are various verses has been given in Bhagavad Gita, that if it is 222, that there is a verse, Purusha Prakriti. So this is the verse that Prabhupada was explaining on his last bed, when he was almost leaving his body, going back home, back to Godhead. So he narrated this verse. He was explaining to the devotee. Although he was translating Srimad Bhagavatam, but at the same time, this verse was his last verse from Bhagavad Gita. Purusha Prakriti तो ही भुंक्ते प्रकृति जान गुणान कारणम गुण संघर्ष सत असत योनि जन्मसु. The living entity in material world nature thus follow the way of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus he meets with good and evil among various species. So it is a very important verse for understanding how the living entity transmigrates from one body to another. So whatever it is explained here that the living entities is transmigrating from one body to another, just as one changes the dress. We change the dress. Because we are captivated by the false manifestation, he has to continue transmigration from one body to another due to his desire to lord it over the material nature. So we want to lord it that I am the master, I am the proprietor, I am the doer. But although we should think that everything is done by the nature under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Under the influence of the material desire, the entity is born sometimes as a demigod, sometimes man, sometimes beast, sometimes bird, sometimes as a worm, aquatic, saintly man, or a bug. So this is going on, and in all cases, the living entity thinks himself to be the master of his circumstances. That it is, I have done this because my prowess, or I am the master, I am the proprietor, I am the enjoyer, I am the owner, and we are none of this. Everything is owned by the Supreme Lord. And if you understand that, that it is the Supreme Lord who is our well-wisher, and he is the enjoyer, doer, and he is the Bhokta. Bhoktaram yaditavasam sarvalok maheshwara. Srodam sarvabhutanam yajgyatva mam shantim richati. So these changes can be effected only by hearing. So how we could change all this? From the authoritative source about we hear who we are, what is our relation with the Supreme Lord, what is this material nature, how we could get out of this temporary situation and have a permanent situation that we don't have to janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshana. So if we submit to hearing process, then he will lose his long cherished desire to dominate over the material nature. So hearing is very, very important, and gradually and proportionately he reduces his long desire to dominate them, and he comes to enjoy spiritual happiness. So in this way, so he is teaching this. Angira Rishi and Narad Muni are teaching him about the life, that what it is, that your son is dead, but he was never your son. He was for a temporary, and until he has been given the chance to stay, he was there, but now he is gone. But still, so if one becomes so self-realized that I am the spirit soul, part of Krishna, my duty is to serve Krishna. Then when we have this spiritual realization and our relationship with Krishna, so this relationship, if we develop that, then we end our miserable material life. And so Narada and Angira is teaching all these things. So we'll read text number 8. So they have come, they have been talking, and so text number 8 is narrated by Narad Muni. Text 4. Sri Shukdev is telling, but it has been narrated by Narad Muni. Divisions, they text number 8. Deha dehi vibhavo ayam viveka krata pura jati vyakti vibhavo ayam yatha vastuni kalpitah. Divisions of generalization and specification such as nationality and individuality, they are the imaginations. That I am Indian, I am American. Say it is just, if we think of that, this is I am the national, but how long? You are there, but you belong to some another nation. Yasharna buddhi punapeti dhatu. If we think that that if we three dhatu, that is that I'm made of this material nature, I'm made of, or this is my birthplace, Janani Janma Bhumisha Swarga Dakita Gariyashi, that it is better than even the Swarga Janani and Janma Bhumisha. But how many Janani we had? How many places that we have been born? Today we are in India, we are America, we may have been some another place. So just remembering that, but our real fact that we should remember always Krishna, that he is our Samambhana. He is the one who created us. He is the one who has given us the soul and even the body, even the material things has been provided by. So there are these two. So these are all imaginations. Generalization and specification are the imaginations of person who are not advanced in knowledge. Purport. Actually, there are two energies, material and spiritual energy. Both of them are ever existing because they are emanations from the eternal truth, the Supreme Lord. Although the material world, body, they may go, but material elements, they remain there. They don't get finished. It's material energy, that is also external energy, or Prakriti, and the spiritual energy. We are part of the spiritual energy, but because we are away from Krishna, so we are Tatastha Shakti. All the Jiva souls are marginal energy, because we could live in both places. Means in the spiritual nature, although that is our real place, and also the outside of the spiritual nature, that is in the material world. So they both are ever existing. Because the individual soul, the individual living entity, has desire to act in forgetfulness of original identity. Since a time immemorial, he is accepting different positions in material bodies and being designated according to the many divisions of nationality, community, societies, species, and so on that we identify with them. If I'm insect, I don't want to leave that body. Indra was becoming like a bug, and he did not, or even a pig also one time, and so he did not want it to leave his pig body or pig position. Oh, I am the husband, I have piglets, I have my wife, I enjoy here this school, and I live in this place which is so nice. But the people were telling him that you are Indra, you have big position, please go. And he would not leave his attachment to his wife and children. Then the Brahmaji asked that kill his wife and children, and then he came to his senses. So we are also like that, that we do not want, wherever we are, we think that is my domain. I will enjoy it. It is even the monkeys and birds, and they all in thinking that way. Just bodily conception of life. The next verse, text 9, Shri Supavacha Evam Ashwasito Raja Chitraketur Dujotibhi Vimrajya Panina Vaktra Madhimyana Abhashata. Sri Sukdev Goswami continue. Thus enlightened by the instructions of Narada and Angira, King Chitraketu became hopeful with knowledge. Wiping his shriveled face with his hands, the king began to speak. Now the Raja is speaking, that he became enlightened, and because he made his son also alive. And his son said that, oh, you are saying that I was your son and you are my father. Which lifetime? When I was your son? Now I have another body, I'm gone somewhere else. Why you are claiming that I'm your son? And in this way, the Jivatma is saying that I have been, according to my karma, I have been Brahmins, I have been going from one species to another, and in which place that you become my parents. Sometimes you are my parents, we have been my parents or son. Sometimes it may be an enemy may come as a son, or so in every species of life that we are born, there may be some relations of brother, sister, mother, father, enemy, friend, rakshak, bhakshak. So why you are don't you think that I was your enemy in the past life? And then you become happy. Why you are lamenting so much? So he's telling that, like say, a person is selling his gold, and then it goes to somebody else, and then again it goes to somebody else. The land is also going to so many places, so many changes. Thing remains right there, but it changes. So same thing, we also change according to our karma. We change. Sometimes we may be father, sometimes we may be son. One time, two partners were working in a foreign country, and then they earned a good amount of money, almost 12 lakhs of rupees. And then one man killed another by giving him the poison. And then he was making like a crocodile tears. Oh, he became very sick and very ill, and we did not make much money. Just take this 100,000 rupees, although he got 12 lakhs. So he gave him little to his wife, and they cried for some time what they could do. But later on, the same partner became the son of this man, this businessman who cheated his friend. And then he became sick. He was the only one son. So he got so many foreign medicines and doctors, and he spent 12 lakhs rupees, the whatever that he has cheated in. Then he says at the end, then there is some spark of life comes, and he says that such and such, do you know that I was your partner and you cheated me? Now I came as your son to take that money away, and now and then he just closed his eyes. In this way, the relationship, we think that it is eternal, it is permanent. I love, but it is all loving, and any relation here is based on self-interest, bodily interest, bodily designation. There is real love is with Krishna only. Real worship is with Krishna. Are Krishna's devotees. So we should make our relationship which are permanent, not like a business. Everything in the material world is a business. What is there for me? Why I should do this? So he's telling that you think me that I was your enemy. So whatever days, number of days that we stay with one place, we become mamta, that we become attached to that. And that is the cause, this attachment is the cause of our suffering, taking another birth. Like if you are attached to your treasury or your wealth, you may come as a snake, you may come as a rat and live in that place. And in this way, there are many, many stories like this, and that we get attached to the home or something, our grains, and they may come as a goat, and the goat comes to his shop, it is my shop, and he puts his mouth in the grain, and his own children beat him almost to death. He says, no, I'm your father. He was saying in a goat voice, but who will listen to him? So in this way, so he's saying this jiva, that for jiva there is no enemy or no friend or no nothing. They're only our friend, and is Krishna, and that's what, if we could learn just that much, that he is our Shrodam Sarvabhutana, Yajatma Mam Shanti Vrichati. You would not feel unhappy, you would be happy. So Atma is even given in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, is Nitya, Avya, it does not reduce, it is very, very tiny, it is self-effulgent. He is saying that Jiva, soul who became alive, that I was in a previous life, I was king of the Panchal Desh. And then one day when he heard about the Katha Satsang, then he became Vairagi, Babaji. Then he was begging. And then in the begging, he came to a village, and then then he was asking. So they gave him some food to cook and some kanda. Kanda is like the patty of the cow dung patties. And then he was cooking. In the kanda, he did not purify it. There were 10 million insects, ants. And then he burned them to death. And then he offered that, because he offered the food to Krishna. So what happened because of that offering? He ate that. So now those 10 million became the wives. And this boy, now the boy who was cooking, this Brahman, who was the king before, he became the that boy, Harshasho. So they gave him the poison, and that was the cause of his death. Only once. Otherwise, he had to take 10 million births to pay off. So it is very, very risky to kill even animals, or insects, or even worms, or even lizards, or scorpion, or even a snake. We should be very careful. And the resultant reaction is there. Sometimes if he's damaging to many devotees or many things are for protection of the temple, that is something different. But otherwise, one should not really be envious, should not take advantage of the people who are very lower animals or insects or birds. So we should follow according to the scriptural injunction, what Bhagavad Gita says or Manu Samhita says, and act accordingly. Because he offered a food to Krishna. So all these hands became the Sautili mothers, stepmothers. But in one lifetime, because he offered a food to Krishna, only in one lifetime he paid up 10 million births. So we should also be very careful that we should not eat food which is cooked by non-devotees or without offering at least. He did not got any clash or any death. So the king, by hearing all this, he became very enlightened. Then the Narad Muni gave him the Sankarshan mantra, and Narad and Angira Rishi. So within 7 days, by chanting the Sankarshan mantra, then he saw Sankarshan. Sankarshan is an expansion of Krishna. Krishna expands into Balram, and Balramji expands into Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. And Lord Shiva worships Sankarshan. So he got, because by the mercy of the Supreme Sankarshan, he got a aeroplane, and he was moving with the speed of mind anywhere. And he saw Parvati ji sitting in the lap of Lord Shiva. And then he was saying that he is the teacher of the entire Dharma Guru, Dev Mahadev. And he is sitting with his wife with nirlajjata, without any lajja. This is not proper. And Parvati became very furious. She cursed him to become a demon, and he became Katrasur. So Lord Shiva is telling that you have seen he did not lament, he did not feel. Chitraketu did not go to the mother Parvati, please forgive me. He could have removed his curse, because he has seen Lord Sankarshan. He could have removed that. But neither he was happy, nor he was he had any sorrow in his. For him, for a devotee, whether it is Swarga, Moksha, Narak, they're all, he sees them everywhere, Krishna, and it is all equal to him. Swarga, Narak, Apavarga, Samana, Jata, Dekhe, Dhare Dhanupana. Narayana Parasarvena Kutaschin Bibyati. That one who is Narayan Parayan means who is depending on Krishna. They are never afraid. Swarga, Pavarga, Narake, Suri, Tulyartha Darshina. They see equally to Swarga, Pavarga, or Narak in the same way. And he is praying Ratrasur. Then even as a demon he is praying. So anyway, you have already gone through all that, and you have already seen. So we'll read the text number 9. Sukadev is saying this. एवमाश्वासितो राजा चित्रकेतुर्द्विजोत्तिभिः विमृज्य पाणिना वक्त्रमाधिल्यान् अभाषत. We read that already. So he wiped his face with his hand. The king is beginning to speak. So now the king Rajovacha. Sri Rajovacha, O yoam jnana sampanno mahistau cha mahiyasam avadhutena veshena gulavya samagato. King Chitraketu said, you have both come here dressed like Avadhutas, liberated persons, just to cover your identity. You did not come and express that I am Narad and I am Angira. You just came as friendly people, and just to tell him the reality of life. I see all of men, you are the most elevated in awareness. You know everything as it is. Therefore, you are the greatest of all great personalities. The next text number 11. Charanti yavano kamam brahmana bhagavat priyaha madrasham gramya buddhinam bodhayon mattalinginah. Brahmanas who are, so he's telling them, dear Brahmanas, who are exalted to the position of Vaishnava, the most dear servants of Krishna, sometimes dressed like madmen, just to benefit materialists like us, who are always attached to the sense gratification and just to dissipate our ignorance. These Vaishnavas wander on the surface of the globe according to their desire. So you have come to wandering, and you have come to my kingdom to enlighten me, to enliven me, to remove my all the sorrow, and that I was almost ignorant of my position. But so, so who are you? He's asking. So he's asking. He's giving that these are the people who wander here and there. So these are the names of the rishis and different rishis that has been given. That is Chitraketu is telling. Kumaro Narada Ribhur Angira Devalo Sitah Apantaratama Vyaso Markandeyo Atha Gautamaha Vasisto Bhagavan Ramaha Kapilo Vatrayani Durvata Yagyavalkyasya Jatu Karnas Tatha Runihi Duro. Hare Krishna, can you hear well?
Yes, Prabhuji, you can hear. We can.
Okay, I will continue. Okay, if there is any problem, let me know. Romaschavano datta asurihi sapatanjalihi rishir vedashira dhaumyo muni pancha siras tatha हिरण्य नाभ कौशल्यः श्रुतदेव ऋतध्वजः एते परे च सिद्धेशास् चरन्ति ज्ञान हेतवः. So Prabhupada is given so many names out of these rishis to his disciples. So translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O great souls, I have heard that among the great and perfect persons wandering the surface of the earth to instruct knowledge to people covered by ignorance are Sanat Kumar. So these rishis or whoever devotees should be respected very well. Then you could learn. They wander just to enlighten the people, never thinking that they are beggars or they are in the garb of beggar. Who knows who are they? To instruct knowledge to people covered by ignorance are Sanat Kumar, Narad, Ribhu, Angira, Deval, Asit, Pantaratma, and that is Vyasadeva, Pantaratma, Markandeya, Gautam, Vasist, Bhagavan Parshuram, Kapil, is Saktavashesha avatar, Bhagavan Parshuram, Kapil, Sukadev, Durvasa, Yagyavalkya, Jatu Karna, and Aruni. Others are Romasha, Chavan, Dattatreya, Asuri, Patanjali, the great sage Dhaumya, who is like the head of the Vedas, the sage Panchashikha, Hiranyanabha, Kaushalya, Shrutadev, and Ritadhvaj. You must certainly be among them because they are their travel. So he heard these names and is narrating and chanting the names of the rishis. It's always like chanting the name of the Lord. So we should not, why we are reading all these, we don't know about them. So purport, the word Gyan Hetava is very significant because great personalities like those listed in these verses wander on the surface of the globe, not to mislead the people, but to distribute real knowledge. Without this knowledge, human life is wasted. The human form of life is meant for realization of one's relationship with Krishna or God. Tvameva matasya pita tvameva, tvameva namacha sakha tvameva, tvameva vidya dravanam tvameva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. One who lacks this knowledge is categorized among the animals. There is demigods and demons. Demons who do not accept Krishna or who are atheistic or who think that God is Nirakar, they are all in the same, are demigod worshippers. They are all, you may say that they are among categorized, although they are demigod worshippers. But because they don't know the form of Krishna or expansion from Krishna like Lord Ram, then they are among the demonic nature. One who lacks this knowledge is categorized among the animals. The Lord himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Namam duskritino mora prapadyante naradama maya pahata jnana swasurim bhavam ashita. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, grossly foolish like an ass, who works very, very hard. Although the grass is there all around, but he says that without that, I will be hungry, let me work very hard. Lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen. So lowest among the mankind, like like rooster or moot or camel who eats the thorn, he punctures his mouth and bleeds, and along with the thorn, he said that thorn is so tasty, but it is his own blood. People who are so much sexually indulged, they think it is so nice to enjoy, but it is their sapping their own real energy that should be urdhva reta. It should be raised up to the brain, to the head, and then they could really realize they become. So all these things are there. So one should not just waste like this. And then Asurim Bhava, that they are Asuri Bhava, like Ravan and Kumbhakarna, they have Asuri Bhava, Mashita. The Maya Pratyaya, like all the scientists and politicians, and they are knowledgeable, they are teachers, but their knowledge has been stolen. The Maya just takes away their knowledge. They think just to enjoy the senses is the purpose of life. And another is Asurim, that from very beginning they are Asuras, like Kansa and so many others that you read. So ignorance is the bodily conception of life. Yashatma buddhi kunapetri dhatuke. Sa eva gokara. That person is like a cow or an ass. So the cow laments, cow sees that her son or daughter is gone, dead, not moving. But she remains and all the time Rambhati Rati hai, she just shouts around as if to call the sun. For couple days she goes around. She does not give up her attachment. But in human life, you understand the person is dead. Now let us take him to the her cremation. So they take him away. But the cow does not really go away from there. You have to kick her out, pull her away to. That's why the Gokhara. Practically everyone throughout the universe, especially on this planet, Bhurloka, this is Bhurloka, Bhurloka, Swargaloka, Janloka, Taploka, Marloka, Brahmaloka, so many planets. Thinks that there is no separate existence of body and soul, body and soul, and therefore no need of self-realization. They think that we are just the body, or that is all in all. So there is no separate soul, which is enlivening or which is keeping the body alive. So they have no distinction. And same thing, it is not to Krishna surrender, but somebody within Krishna. Somebody within, now it is within and without for Krishna is the same. For us, we have a grass material body and we have a soul, and we should give priority to the soul. The soul's purpose is not just taking care of the body in so many ways and forgetting the soul. Like Prabhupada gives a nice example that there is a cage and there is a bird, and you polish the cage, you do, but you forget the bird, that I have to feed the bird. So think what we are feeding to our soul, what we are doing about the soul. Soul's food is holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Association of devotees is spiritual food offered to Krishna, prasadam, and prachar, give enliven the others who are bereft of Krishna consciousness. Bring them to the lotus feet of Krishna. They are all his children. Everybody is a child of Krishna. But that is, so therefore all the Brahmanas listed here, being devotees, travel all over the world to awaken Krishna consciousness in the hearts of such foolish materialists. The acharyas mentioned in these verses are the name of the acharyas described in the Mahabharata. The word Panchashikha is also important, one who is liberated from the conception of Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanmaya, and Anandamaya. These are the Anna. Initially, we just look for food, Annamaya. Then Pranamaya, how to protect yourself. The Manomaya, whatever the mind is taking, you just go there. Vijnanamaya, so Manomaya, Vijnanmaya, Anandamaya. We want Anandomaya Bhyasa. We are all looking for Ananda or bliss. So Vijnanmaya means realized knowledge. And who is perfectly aware of the subtle coverings of the soul is called Panchashikha. Panchashikha, who knows the subtle covering. Subtle covering means we have Mana, Buddhi, Ahankar. Our body is made of earth, water, fire, air, ether. According to the statements of the Mahabharata, Shanti Parv, chapter 218 to 219, an Acharya named Panchashikha took birth in the family of Maharaj Janak, the ruler of the Mithila. The Sankhya philosophy accepts Panchashikhacharya as one of them. The real knowledge that it pertains to the living entity dwelling within the body, that is, means the soul. unfortunately, because of ignorance, the living entity identifies himself with the body and therefore feels pleasure and pain. But if we feel that this is not, so people are out of their bodily consciousness. They have consciousness. So even they are operated or they don't feel the pain. They so I will speak about little bit about some of this that we have been talking about, or we all these acharyas are who travel all over the world. So little bit, for most of them, but Parshuram was his son of so Raja Kush, and that was son of Brahmaji, Raja Kush, and then he had 4 sons. Kushna. So Kushna is one of them. So he did Putreshti Yagya, by which he got Maharaj Gadhi, Dharmata Putra, and Gadhi had a daughter by name Satyavati, that was married to Richik, and Satyavati and Satyavati's Richik. So they went to Richik Rishi to that give us some son, or we do not have. So they give anyway. It is a long story. Richik's son was Jamdagni, and he was Danta and Shant, and his son was elder Parashuram. He was a very chivalrous and very great. So one time, this Yamdagni is his wife. His wife was Renukaji. Renuka Mandir is very close to where I live, near Khargon, maybe 2-3 kilometers. So she went to bring some water, but she saw that there is Gandharva and Gandharvini. They were there enjoying each other's company, and it took because they were watching. They were so beautiful and watching. It took a long time for her to bring the water for Diti service. So Jamdagni Muni saw, and then he understood what she was doing, that she was engaged in. So she said that to see another people in a calm bhavana, or by even it is a mahapap. If they are enjoying their own woman and man, or they may be wife and husband, but that should not be seen by someone else. Otherwise, it's a pap. So he told all his other sons that please kill your mother, but nobody came forward. And at the end, the seventh son, then this 8th son was Parshuram. Then his father said that please chop the head of all your 7 brothers and your mother, and he did that immediately. So then father was very happy. Then he says, ask any boon. And he says that my all the brothers and mother become alive. They would not feel, or they would not understand that I killed them. They will feel that as if they were sleeping, and they just got wake up. And no sin should incur to him, and then nobody should be equal to him in the fighting. And then I may live. Parshuram is also Dirgaji, so I may live for a long period after. Dirga, a long period. So Jamdagni Muni gave him all this. And then one time, this Shastrarjun, he was in Maheshmati Puri. Maheshmati Puri is also very close where, and it is Maheshwar or Maheshmati Puri at the bank of the Narmada. And there was Shastrarjun. He worshipped Dattatreya, and then because he worshipped, then he got a boon, and he got 1,000 arms. It was stopping the water from flowing, and even one time this Ravana also came, and he saw no water for his worshipping Lord Shiva. So he just went and he saw. So Shastrarjun put him, and he threw him away long back. In this way, she was killing many people. So Shastrarjun, one time he went, so Jamdagni Muni's ashram. Jamdagni Muni, seeing that he's the king, he respected, and he fed so many people, all within a kingly fashion, whatever they needed. Is all these thousands of people, because he had a Kamdhenu cow, and he wanted to steal that, give me, and he refused Jamdagni Muni. So he took him forcibly, and he killed his Jamdagni Muni also. So then, and she, the wife, Renuka Mata, she was hitting her chest 21 times. He took the oath that each time I will remove the Kshatriya 21 times because some are left over and they will grow again. So every time that this Kshatriya, that's why he was killed, not only Shastrarjun, he chopped off, but also many Kshatriyas who came to help him and his children and his all the Sena, and they were going everywhere. So and then what happened? They will so this Parshuram would give the kingdom to the Brahmanas, but Brahmana will give them back again because they could not, they are not the rulers. So in this way, every time that happened, so Parshuram was for 21 times, and later on, so he gave later on everything to Kashyap Muni. So Kashyap Muni said that Parshuramji, you have now the earth is mine, you please go to south side. So he gone to the South Samudra. And then he is living on Mahendrachal. His Aveshavatar, Shaktavashes avatar. When that Ramavatar came, then his purpose of coming was solved. Shambhudhanu, he heard Lord Shambhu's bow was broken, and then so he was very, very angry. But then he saw that his Dhanush automatically went to Lord Ram. So he understood that he is the Vishnu Tattva, he is Vishnu himself, he is just his Shaktavashes avatar. He paid Lord Ram his obeisances and left to Mahendrachal Parvat. He is still on that Mahendrachal Parvat. And so that is one of about Parshuram that you heard. Kapil Dev, you know that Kapil Dev is a Devhuti's son is Kapil, Kardamuni's son. And so we have heard so much in Bhagavatam. The Sanakadi Rishi, they are the Brahmaji to produce and fill up all the universes with the living being. So he was worshipping and he was meditating and tapasya, tapa. Then because of the tap, he had tap meant that is also son is also name of son. So he had 4 sons, Sanat, Sanandan, Sanatan, and Sanat Kumar. So they are literally incarnation of Shaktavashesh avatar from the Supreme Lord. And but they always wanted to remain as 5-year-old. The reason is that there is no Maya Vikar. Just seeing opposite sex up there, it does not cause any changes in their mind. So they were always remaining Brahmaleen and Jivan Mukta. And so you heard about them, that how they came to Vaikuntha planet, and Jai Vijay, they stopped him. That was for the desire of the Supreme Lord. And they are the one who removed the they removed Gyan and Vairagya. They became unconscious. And then they, because he read some Bhagavatam, he gave to them, they became enlivened again. So they giving Bhagavatam, and in this way, so Chatursan are 4, Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandan, Sanat Kumar. Naradji, I heard so many that Naradji, he was born from the mind of Brahmaji, but he was also asked that you please produce children, and he says no. This Krishna Seva is more better than even the Amrit or nectar. Then who will be the foolish man that will eat poison in place of the nectar? So Brahmaji became very, very angry, and then he gave that whatever knowledge that you will forget, and then you will become the husband of 50 beautiful girls. And so he became as a Gandharva, Upabarhan, and then Upabarhan, but his mind was absorbed, like there was a Rambha, Apsara was. So he was married. He was a Gandharva before. Chitradat's 50 daughters that he got married. And one time in the so Pushkar, in the Pushkar Kshetra, only there is one temple is Pushkar Kshetra where Brahmaji is being worshipped and where Rambha was dancing. But this Apobarhan was looking at her lustfully. So then he gave him the curse that you become the son of a Shudrani. So Govarhan gave up his body, and then he became Drumil Gop's wife Kalavati. He became born, and then he became the Dasiputra. Kalavati was his mother's name, and Drumil Gop was his father's name. So when husband died, then she was working at a Brahman's house, and there these rishis came, and he served those rishis, and then they become. So there is a lot of stories that you have already heard about Narad Muni, about some another personalities. Sanakadi, we talked about Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandan, Sanat Kumar. Then Chitraketu, that we have been discussing about Maharaj Chitraketu and what Vaivashvat Manu. Vaivashvat Manu, he was Vishwakarma, daughter was Sangya, and she became the wife of sun god, Surya. And then Vaivashvat Manu was born from this Sangya. And so he was also become like let all Satyavrat, Satyavrat, that there was a patient that all came, but 14 Manus, and he is the 7th Manu, Vaivashvat Manu. He is also the, because he did so much tapasya, and he sun god, he is the sun planet, he was became the Vaivashvat. Yagyavalkya Rishi, that we. So Rigved Samhita, Vaskal Muni, and these are big stories. I would not go on detail for all of this, but so Dev Muni and Vasishtha ji. You know that Vasishtha, from Brahma's pran, Vasishtha Muni was born, and because he controlled all his senses, Vasishtha, Vash mein kiya, Vash mein karna through all the senses. That's why his name is Vasishtha. Karda Muni has 9 daughters. One was Arundhati. Vasishtha Arundhati is the wife of Vasishtha Muni, and he became this Suryavansh. Suryavanshi Purotai. He was the Purohit priest, family priest, was Vasishtha Muni. For many generations, even from long time. So when Brahmaji was telling him that about Lord Ram's coming, so he says that yes, I will be Purohit for this Vansh. Otherwise, nobody wants to Uparohitya Karmati Manda. To become a Purohit of somebody is not really proper. To become a like a temple commander or manager or temple president. And so one time you heard about that is also not good, because you have to point out he did this, he did this. So one time a dog came to the kingdom of Lord Ram, his sabha, and then he was crying. Then he said that the Brahman has bitten me so badly at night time that I was doing my job. So he says that. So then he asked Brahman, oh, whenever I go, he just shouts, home, home, home. So he said that what we should punish. He's asking the dog himself. So make him Mathadhish, Math in charge. Because what happens in Mathadhish, they do so many mistakes, and because of that, they may fall down. And so that is what happened, that he became the dog because of being a Mathadhish. We say that make him a Mathadhish also. So Vasishtha Muni, there are many stories about Vasishtha Muni and how he Vasishtha Muni and who came Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra came and then he was Vishwamitra was Kshatriya in the beginning. He was a king. Then he gave him all luxurious, but then he said that give me your cow, and he refused. And then he had all the sena, and from the cow so many sena were coming, and they already removed this Vishwamitra's all the power or military power, and he was defeated. So he's saying that Dik Balam, Kshatri Balam, Brahma Tejo Balam Balam. then he wanted to become a Brahmarshi. And ultimately when he did, and after many long thousands of years, he became Brahmarshi. And Vasishtha Muni respected him and that now told him that you are Brahmarshi. Gautam ji, you know about Gautam, Ahilya's husband, Ahilya Patni. Sham, Dam, Tap, Saucha, Shanti, Arjavam, Gyan, Vigyan, Astikam. He was sum total of all these things were there in all the Brahmanical qualities. Then the Brahmaji produced a very beautiful girl who kept his name Ahilya. And then so many demigods became attracted to Ahilya. He told that whoever goes on parikrama, he'd three loka, upper, middle, lower planetary system, who does circumambulation of all this and who will be first. So everybody went on them. Same thing, Ganesh ji also came first. But anyway, here we are talking about Gautam Rishi. So Gautam Rishi had his Shalagram Shila. So he just did the parikrama of his Shalagram, and then he went to Brahmaji. So Brahmaji said that yes, you are the topmost, and then he gave Ahilya to him. And then Ahilya one time this Indra became, because she was so beautiful, Indra became attracted to her and he made the form of Gautam Rishi. And then when she could recognize him also that he is not my husband. But anyway, and she was in her menstrual period. But because she had a relationship with Indra, that just for fun, not for. And then he forgot to change. Then the Gautam Rishi came. Then he forgot to change his form from Gautam Rishi to Indra. So he saw that how is another person Gautam here. So he understood all this by his yoga. And then he cursed that you are attracted to the Vajayana, so in your whole body will become like your yoni lampot. You are attracted to the yoni. So he take 1,000. But later on he worshipped and he so those became all eyes later on. That all this form, the yoni became high for this Indra. Sahasra Chakshu is also called. And then when Lord, he also cursed his wife also, that he became a stone. So she was living in the stone and without any eating food, anything. She was tolerating all the wind, air, heat. So her mind was always on Lord Ram. And then Lord Ram came and then he put his foot and with the Charan Raj, and she came up out of this stone and then she worshipped Lord Ram. So Charan Raj is very important. And how Charan Raj was taken by this Kevat, that if my boot is only wooden boot and your foot, your Raj, if it comes, the stone becomes a woman. If my boat becomes a woman, how I would be able to support? And where would be my boat? I cannot support two wives. So please let me wash your feet. That was his trick to take the Charan Raj, Charan wash. So Charanamrat, Charan Raj, yeah, Uchist, whatever food has been taken by, it becomes not only Mahaprasad, but Mahaprasad. And it is eaten by a saintly person. So in this Gautam Rishi, he was also Nyaya Shastra. He was Gautam Kanad, like there were 6 philosophies are there. Gautam is also one of them. So he was Maharishi Vedavyas. One time, like Nyaya Shastra, and his name Akshapad also. So another person, not Shrangi Rishi, Angira Rishi and Narada Muni, they came to this Chitraketu's place. And so he was born Angiraji, born from the mouth of Lord Brahma. And his son was Vrahaspati, who became the Purohit of the demigods. Because of the Narad Muni's, so So he was Shonak Rishi, Brahma Vidya, he gave him Shonak Rishi's Updesh, and he became enlightened. And so, so Angira Muni, that we, and just the last one because time is limited, and Jamdagni Muni, the name is there, and Markandeji. So Markandeji is the son of Markanda Rishi. Markanda, there was no son of him. So by so one time, one woman came and saw this Markanda Rishi who had no son. He says that, oh, she turned her face away, that without a son, Nisantan, that I have seen the face of a Nisantan without any Santan. So then he worshipped Lord Shiva. And then, although he had no, in his yoga or in his destiny, there was no son. But because of his worship of Lord Shiva, he gave him that okay, he will have a son. But he will only live for 18 years or no 16 years. So then his son, so he got the son, but later on he worshipped Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva. So when the call came at the age of 16 years, then he put his so Lord Shiva appeared from his Shivling. He was there holding the Shivlinga, and then he killed this Yamraj, and then he became Ajaramar. Then he was traveling, wanted to see the devastation, and so he was floating for 7, like a long period of time, 7 manvantars, that he was floating in the water of devastation, and then he saw one tree, and that's where banyan tree, and Krishna was sucking on his toe. Karara Vindena Padaravendam, Vakara Vinde Viniveshayantam, Vatasya Putra Shapute Sanam, Balam Mukundam, Sirashana Mami. So this is Markandeji, son of Markanda Muni. And so I will end here. We read about these different rishis and how Chitraketu was enlivened by his own son and by Angira Rishi and Narad Muni. And we should take this lesson. Bhagavatam is meant for us to understand that purpose of life is not to enjoy our senses in the material world. That is Maya. She attracts us. She has two potencies, alluring and then she throws us. So she is throwing us that, okay, there is enjoyment later on. We forget that and we think that I am the body and let me enjoy to this extent. Yavat jivet sukham jivet inam kratva vratam privet. So that is the way that we, because of our forgetfulness or not knowledge of spiritual knowledge. That's why Prabhupada came and gave direct spiritual knowledge. Now Srimad Bhagavatam pages are concisely given and even Bhagavad Gita and many of his books. So we pay our respect to Srila Prabhupada, and by his mercy we could be saved if we take to his instruction, and just it's a very simple process. That's why the Kali Yuga is being glorified, because just by chanting the name of Krishna, Kaler Doshe Nidhe Rajan Yasti Manu, Kali Yuga is the best of ages out of all this, because just for a short time you just think of Krishna and surrender to him, then you could be saved. But manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskar mame vashisi satyante pratijane priyase. Just these 4 things you do. Think of Krishna, manmana bhava, mad bhakto, become his devotee, nauda bhakti, any one of that. Madhyaji, do the yajan, pujan, arti, namaskar, pay your respect to the Supreme Lord. In this way you could be saved from the onslaught of Maya and could go back home, back to Godhead, and be relieved from all the pains of this material nature. So anybody who has any comments, questions, any discussions, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
That's really good explanation about all. So you just covered up everything. So all the past tense. So every time you come, you give us, you remind us of all the past tense. So much grateful to you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for that. So devotees, any questions? Yeah, Shukakar Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Yes, Prabhuji, Shukar Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, so nice, Maharaj. Every time
Oh,
you
Hare
come and
Krishna,
you
Prabhu.
remind us. Shamik Prabhu, आपको देखने से तो I like see Prabhupada. The face is like Srila Prabhupada only, same, like father, like the son. Acha, Prabhuji, now you told that Chitraketu, when he lost his son, just in 1 year old, and the other
No,
queens
5 years.
poisoned, and
He was 5 year old.
5 years. So poisoned by the other queens, and he died. So Markandeya, sorry, Angirisi Rishi and Narada Muni came and told that your son has already gone to another body, and he came and spoke. That means if any son or anybody dies, we are not supposed to cry. That it is just their karma is over, they're going back. What does he learn from this? That there should be no attachment, because when somebody comes as a son or daughter, there's always the father and mother cries, no, they're losing the child. So from this, what should we learn? That we are not supposed to cry. Because everybody comes, they will live till they are deserving to live. And we should know that it's just a soul, not the body. So how is it going to help the parents who are going to lose their sons and daughters? Means, is that the way that, what is the moral learning from this? What we have learned from
Oh, very nice question, Prabhuji. We should not be attached that without the son we cannot live. We have to understand. But emotions are there. As long as he was with us, we could give him Krishna consciousness. And then attachment should not be there, but loving relation, emotional feeling should be there. We are all emotional beings, and we cannot just be completely dry and don't care he's my son or not son. No, he is at the present. He has been given under your care by the Supreme Lord. So you should naturally be affectionate to him. Affection and attachment is different. Affection that you love, you give them, but attachment means without that you cannot live. You are just thinking all in all, he is the only one. Like Kamahi Nari Pyari Jimi, that people who love a beautiful woman, then they are so much attached that one man was walking up in front of his wife, that he cannot even give for 1 second even. He has to see his wife's face. And then anyway, you have heard all this Ramanujachari.
You got mute.
Prabhuji, you got me. Your video is not visible.
This way, our attachment is the cause of. The one greedy man is so much attached to his wealth. So we should not be attached. We should be attached to Krishna, but in a normal process, we should have emotions for different people or different way that we come in. It's not that we should not cry. We should cry. There is nothing wrong with crying. Okay.
Okay, but so the 5-year-old child died, the mother and father should not cry. They should know that he has gone, we have affection, no attachment, bye, like that. But it is very easy to preach, but difficult to apply in life for even for devotees. If the child dies, when the only child dies, how much the mother will feel the absence, no? You are telling that no, there should be no attachment, there will be only affection. But वो चला गया तो बहुत दुख होता है ना प्रभु जी.
पर समझना भी चाहिए that we should understand that now he's gone forever. Whatever according to in my destiny he was there. So you love him, you take care of him nicely, you teach him Krishna consciousness. Then he's gone. We should not to stop thinking like he stopped his kingdom. He stopped his nothing that he could. He was like a dead man, just like a cow remains along with the calf for 2 days, 3 days. She would not go away. She has to be pulled. So we should not have like this. Even when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing Sankirtan in Srivas Thakur's Angan, then Srivas's single son died inside, and ladies were crying. He went inside and said that if you cry again and disturb Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Kirtan, then I will kill myself. So then they all stopped that. But later on, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like he understood that, and then he called out the son, and then he paid his respects, and then he said that was my destiny. I remained. But how he wished this Srivas Thakur, that he could control his all the emotions. So according to time, place, and circumstances, but not that he's gone and now you are not even chanting, not even eating, not even doing anything, and so much that we just forget our real duty of serving Krishna. So yes, you can cry, you should cry, and then you go on with your duty.
Okay.
Particularly Krishna consciousness. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Anita Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for that for that wonderful question, and thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Mataji.
We
Hare
have to
Krishna.
learn, but still, the attachment should not be there, right? So that's what you were saying, right, Prabhuji? But anyways, as a condition, so the attachment should be there, but still we have to take the help of the acharyas and shastras, right? So thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So Amy Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Very nice
Krishna.
class.
My pranam to you also.
Maharaj, I just wanted to understand, maybe I missed it. Why was Harshishoka born to Chitraketu Maharaj? Was there a sort of scriptural reason? I did understand that the 1,000,000 wives poisoned him for there's a background to it, that the Brahmana had used the cow patty for cooking and the ants were in there. But what is the connection between the Harshishoka being born to Chitraketu Maharaj?
He was in so much lamentation, so much anxiety, so much he would not feel like eating or doing anything. So naturally, these rishis, when they came, Angira Rishi came first alone, and he said that he would not listen to any tattva or a jiva, what is the soul, what is the duty, or any about devotional services. He was always worried about my son, but in his destiny, there was no son. So he says that I could give you a son, but it would be, he would be lived for a short time. So this Angira Rishi knew that he would not listen to any of the philosophy, anything about Krishna consciousness, because these rishis, they travel all over the world to enlighten each other about God consciousness, about our relationship with Krishna, Tattva Jigyasa. Like this devotee he came for Tattva Jigyasa, he was going, and then he was enlivened by this Brahmana, Chad Bharat. This who was that king? Who was going to
Rahuguna.
Rahuguna, right. So same thing, he would not listen to that Rahuguna. But now when the time came that his son is dead and son is giving the instruction. So this is for us to learn that our duty is not just son, wife, children, all these are relation are there, but you both practice Krishna consciousness, wife and husband. Children, you teach them Krishna consciousness. So parallel lines. So it is all for our learning. Whole Bhagavatam is for our learning, that we could take different lessons from different incidents. Sometimes these incidences are created, they may not be real, are created for us to learn the lessons. Krishna creates so much pastimes that we could, just by reading Bhagavatam and understanding that clearly, then we could be saved from this Maya and could go back home, back to Godhead. So, so purpose of this Chitraketu and all this, that yes, by the Rishi's mercy, one can have a child. Sometimes people, unless it is Rishi's mercy, means Rishi gets the mercy from Krishna. So ultimate source is Krishna for everything. Sometimes people may take, or they may have operation, and still they may have a son, or sometimes with all the processes they don't have a son. Chitraketu did not have a son, so destiny is there. His 10,000, not 10,000, 10 million wives could not produce a single child. You could imagine how difficult or how it was. But rishis have the power to do that. So they could even remove your destiny also, but for a short time. So all the lessons, what your question was, that what do we learn from this? Why this Ketu? We have a relationship just for a short time, sometimes 5 years, sometimes 1 year, sometimes 100 years, or whatever different relationship is there. That has to be, just keep it in a pure way and not to be affected by passing or He passed away and he was so much affected. That's why his name was given Harsha. He was happy and he thought that how much I would be unhappy. Maybe he may do some nonsense activity, but at least having a son is better than not having any son. That's why this Angira Rishi gave him a boon that you get a son and you name him Harsha. And later on he heard all the instruction from child, from Angira Rishi, from Narad Rishi, and that way. So that is the way of preaching. That sometime it may not be heard, but proper time comes, then someone will hear those things. We may not hear in one lifetime. Maybe we have to spend many lifetimes. But we have a jigyasa. If we have a determination that I should understand about the purpose of life, why Krishna has created this prison house of the material world. So many universes has been created, which are all prison houses, and how to get out of it. Our real home is back home, back to Krishna's abode. So if we just try for that, then it may not happen in one lifetime, but it may happen in even 2, 3, 4, but sometime it may be Khatwanga Muni, King Khatwanga. God enlivened in just 2 muhurta. Means 1 hour, 48 minutes is 1 muhurta. In 2 muhurtas, he could realize God. So it depends on our intensity of service to Krishna. But anyway, it's a nice question. Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. Krishnai, Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Maharaj, I got a question like hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Sometimes we find there is a logical. So some, and then I don't. Sometimes but then when I path of bhakti, is it logical or is it just because of we are conditional? So this is all the logical arguments there. So how we can? So is it path of bhakti is without logical, or before path of bhakti is before path of bhakti? These all logical arguments is presenting in Srimad Bhagavatam, Maharaj.
It is scientific, very, very logical. You could understand it, and that's why so many examples are being given. So it is completely logical. It is completely scientific. It can be understood by a fertile brain. But if we are sinful, because there has to be certain processes. So everybody cannot understand all these things because they have to be purified in their heart. And if they are not purified, then naturally they would not understand that. So that's why Krishna throws them in this demonic species for long period of time. But it's not forever. Then when sometime some saintly person may come and enliven them, they may listen to them. But it is logic. Okay?
No,
it is scientific.
Maharaj, my question was Maharaj, that it is I mean, sometimes we hear logical. So is it path of bhakti is logical? Because sometimes we see that we are calculating and logical way. So is a path of bhakti logical ideally?
Can you explain me what you are thinking about logical? Can
Logic
you explain
is
to
like,
me?
okay, I will, okay, अच्छा महाराज,
आप
logical is
हिंदी में भी
like,
कह सकते हैं।
अच्छा महाराज, तो मेरे कहने के वो मतलब है कि अगर हम भक्ति करते हैं तो हम जो हमारा कर्मा और विकर्मा जो है वो जो बंधन में आते हैं, वो बंधन से हम बंधन पे वो श्री कृष्ण के चरण में, और जो ब्रज भक्ति है, नवदीप भक्ति है, और तुलसी देवी की भक्ति करके श्रील प्रभुपाद का जो गुरु वर्ग से वो हम भक्ति प्राप्ति कर सकते हैं। मगर भक्ति के पथ में वो इतना जो लॉजिकल होते कि वो क्या लॉजिकल इतना क्यों प्रेजेंट करते? क्योंकि हम कंडीशन सोल है, इसीलिए महाराज इतना, क्योंकि लॉजिकल
कंडीशन सोल है और हर एक का अलग अलग मेंटेलिटी है। You may understand in a different way, somebody else may. तो इतने लोगों के लिए उन्होंने सब तरह के एग्जाम्पल क्रिएट किए हैं. For millions and millions of people and so many Brahmandas, they are all not of the same background, but bhakti appeals to everybody, but in a fashion, in a logical fashion that appeals to him. किसी को कुछ एग्जाम्पल पसंद आता है उससे ले लेता है, जैसे इनके बच्चे को मार करके he understood चित्रकेतु. Otherwise he would never have understood before about Krishna consciousness. So whatever way, by so many examples, Krishna himself puts himself in many situations and his own devotees, so he could create examples for everyone.
So उद्धव जी जो उद्धव गीता जो है वो क्या प्योर, वो क्या ओनली पर भक्ति के लिए है, विदाउट लॉजिक? वहां पे तो कोई लॉजिक नहीं है ना महाराज?
नहीं,
जो
उसमें
उद्धव
भी
गीता
लॉजिक
जो
है. Uddhav Gita is in so many chapters has been given. But Uddhav himself was not a devotee like gopis. He learned from the gopis. He was a very knowledgeable, and Krishna sent him to become a devotee like the gopis. So Uddhav Gita ठीक है, it is like Bhagavad Gita. It is there. It's a Uddhav Gita, and then there is so much description about this Mother Dehuti and Kardamuni's wife, Mother Dehuti, and his son Kapil Dev is also teaching. So for different people, there is a different teaching may appeal, and one may take whatever best for him. But ultimate aim is to become devotee like, completely surrender like the gopis have surrendered. Nothing for them, everything for Krishna, Krishna's pleasure, and that is surrender.
तो ऐसे कोई चैप्टर है, ऐसे कोई है जहाँ पे लॉजिकल नहीं है, सिर्फ भक्ति की बात बोलते हैं? ऐसे कोई श्रीमद् भागवतम और कोई सिर्फ भक्ति और
Everything is
उद्धव
about Bhagavatam is completely Amal Puran. Everything is about bhakti. It may seem that it is, but it is all bhakti. It's a pure Puran. Out of 17 Puran, Vyasdeva was not happy. Narad Muni said that you did not describe about the glories of devotional service, about Krishna's appearance, and about so many saintly people. So he described about Parikshit Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj, and so many Rishabh Dev, and teachings by so many Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj. So he told all this because that way anybody can attach to somebody. Some there have a role model. So Krishna created many, or Vyasdev created. There's a literary incarnation of Krishna, so many role models. And you could learn from any one of those or all of them. Just like we have been given 9 Navda Bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Narsyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. So any kind that could give them the pleasure, or they could attach to any one of them. Okay, they could process any one of these Navda Bhakti or all of them. Doesn't matter. Main thing is surrender to Krishna.
Without second initiation, फर्स्ट दीक्षा और सेकंड दीक्षा के बगैर तो हम वो तो आत्मा समर्पण तो नहीं बोलते हैं ना उसको महाराज?
नहीं, first diksha, second diksha, as long as you love Krishna and serve him, even if you don't take a second initiation, does not really matter.
मगर सब 7 मंत्रस तो मिलते हैं ना, सो वो तो हम तो शुद्ध चैंटिंग में नहीं है, ऐसा ना कोई हम कर सकते तो दूसरे फर्स्ट इनिशिएशन में तो हरि नाम मिलते हैं और दूसरे सेकंड इनिशिएशन में मिलते 7 मंत्रस जो गुरु से गुरु मंत्र, गायत्री मंत्र और भी और एक मंत्र है जो संबंध अभिधेय प्रयोजन का मंत्र भी मिलते हैं। तो आत्मा समर्पण तो वहां पे ही होते हैं ना महाराज? इससे बात तो
आत्मा समर्पण कभी भी हो सकता है, ऐसा कोई जरूरी नहीं है। यूजुअली अपने स्थान में जो ब्राह्मण दीक्षा है, यू कुड वर्शिप कृष्णा टेम्पल के अंदर, यू कुड प्रीच विग्रह, और यू कुड बिकम मोर सीरियस, बट इट्स नॉट दैट सेकंड इनिशिएशन इज ए मस्ट. Even if you just chant, people don't even take any initiation. Still, but it becomes difficult. That's why you have to accept a teacher or a guru, and that's why. But even if you are chanting without any mantra diksha, it would be more effective if you take from a guru the mantra. But even it will have the effect even if you don't take any initiation, whether Mantra Diksha or the first initiation and Brahman initiation. Usually it is for temple worship, Diti worship, Karma Kand, different thing. Means we are not for Karma Kand, but one can become a, like you may say, whether the gopis have took initiation first or second, they never were initiated. They were already surrendered souls. For Krishna, they are willing to do anything to make him happy or pleased. Which even the all the good.
मगर एज वी आर हम लोग सबका तो प्रीवियस लाइफ कर्मा लाइफ से प्रेजेंट लाइफ में जो भी भक्ति की बात सुनते हैं तो ऐसा लगता है हम लोग तो कभी भी समर्पित नहीं हुए, तो इसलिए तो दोनों दीक्षा की प्रयोजन लगते हैं ना महाराज। वो जो गोपी तो हाईएस्ट डिवोटी है।
You take. See, Prabhupada created this, and we are surrendered souls for Prabhupada. So we should get first initiation, second initiation. Then later on, sannyas is also for man. They could take sannyas, renounce everything. But it's not possible for everyone. So whatever level you are in, just chant the holy name and preach, take prasadam, and be happy.
मगर महाराज क्या अगर मैं चाहती हूँ कि इसका उनसे फर्स्ट और सेकंड एडिशन मुझे मिले, तो मुझे इस बात को कैसे मैं रख सकती हूँ, कैसे मैं बोल सकती हूँ इस बात को, अगर मन में इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग डिजायर है।
Then you have to approach to direct to the Guru, write him or to his counselors, or there some others are there. Then you could consoling from others, their senior disciples, and tell them that that's what you want to surrender to such and such Guru, and please arrange for my Diksha, and I am chanting 16 rounds. They have certain prerequisite. So you do your all the prerequisite and you will be able to serve or get a Guru. It's up to you listen to the lectures and you listen to different. So you have to study Guru, and yourself also has to be purified. That you are taking not for some name, fame, or you are taking initiation to serve Krishna more seriously and chant more seriously. Okay?
धन्यवाद, प्रणाम, कोटि-कोटि प्रणाम onto your lotus feet, Maharaj.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So Ramdas and Sita Mataji or Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Ramdas Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble. You know, I had a question, but I fear it'll definitely take too long, and I have a car appointment, so I will have to save it. But I just want to appreciate you coming on here and giving such a nice class, and I'm sorry that I can ask the question personally.
It is just by Prabhupada's mercy, or he has written, and we just explain that. So I even don't know how to give the class. I just read little bit and try to explain. She was asking in Hindi many things, and you may become so much what she's talking about, but it's okay. She could explain more easily.
I was appreciating what I was able to understand. So just thank you, Guru Maharaj. That's my comment for today, and I can ask you. I have a more elaborate question.
You call me anytime. Okay.
Okay, Guru Maharaj. Will do.
Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So any other questions or comments, or we should close now?
So here. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you for your valuable time and association. It was very pleasure having you on the call. So very nice class actually, with all the past tense and all the question and answer was also very good. So devotees, let's pay our obeisances to
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Shri Prabhu. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for very, very wonderful class. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada. वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां
पतितानां
पावनेभ्यो
पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि
अनंत
वैष्णव
कोटि
धर्म की जय।
की
शिल
जय।
प्रभुपाद की
जय
और भक्त वृंद की जय।
जय
जय
श्री
राधे
महाराज
राधे
की
प्रणाम
जय
प्रभु जी, thank you.
जय
श्री
प्रभु
राधे
महाराज
राधे
की
Hare
जय
Krishna.
राधे राधे
नित्यानंदा
जय
नित्यानंदा
दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु
जय श्री
जी,
राधे।
धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू सो मच